Welcome in. This is the Second Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman. No, welcome in. This is the Second Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman. A Players Champion has been crowned. We are going to talk about the crazy set of circumstances that happened out of TPC Sawgrass today. And we are going to try to digest what just happened. Joining me to do just that, Greg DuCharme is here. Greg, hello.
Hello, Rick. I have to say it. What a week. I mean, this was a classic Players Championship. This is classic. There are so many players on this leaderboard that leave saying, if it weren't for those two shots, I could have won. 2 shots. And that's all it comes down to. It's just a matter of when it happens. It is amazing what this golf course does, and it can happen on any hole. It makes for a fascinating watch.
Fascinating is one word to describe what that watch was. There are other adjectives that could be thrown around for what we just saw over the last 6 hours, but we're going to do our best. I think we have to start with the overnight leader, Greg. He was the storyline. He was the man who had a 3-shot lead going into the final round. He was the favorite to win, and he finished 4 shots off the lead. I'm talking about one Ludvig Oberg.
Well, I think to tell this story, we really got to go back to Saturday's round.
Sure.
So
let's do it.
I know you're looking at, red numbers. The red numbers there on Sunday's round don't look good. But go back to Saturday's round. There you go. If you're watching on YouTube, that scorecard is up there now. In Saturday's round, Ludvig got off to a shaky start, and he did a great job keeping it together. He hit some exquisite shots into the par 5s on 9 and 11. There was some beautiful play in the middle of that round that really kept him in this tournament. But he had an opportunity to put this thing away on Saturday night. As crazy as that sounds after seeing what took place today, he missed opportunities all the way through. On 16, he missed the fairway, didn't make birdie, one of the easier holes on the golf course. On 17, he had an 8-footer for birdie and missed it. And on 18, he 3-putts from 25 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You clean that up a little bit, and you got a 6-shot lead going into the final round. That's a very different feeling. Now you flash forward to Sunday, and he's doing everything he needs to do. Makes a nice birdie at 2, gets lucky at 4, ends up walking away with bogey. We probably could have gotten that up and down, but you're fine. You go shoot 36 on the front 9. You're at 13 under. You're in total control. And then he's in the fairway at 11. And what happened there, Rick? He must have missed his target by 40 yards, 50 yards to the right into the water.
I was out there, and we didn't even know where to look for the ball because it was so far. Because you're kind of blocked out. I was up by the green. You're kind of blocked out from some of the trees over there, and it's a par 5, so it was pretty far away. I didn't even know it splashed. I didn't even know where it was because that was not in my point of view. Was I ever looking at where that ball ended up?
Yeah, it's almost like you're looking at someone who's about to hit a tee shot and they top it, and you're looking up in the air and the ball never gets off the ground.
Right.
It's one of those situations. But he had 267. Now everybody who was going for the left side, which most of the field's going for the left side of that from the fairway at least, and you get it left of the green because you can't. It was into the wind. You're not really going to reach. You're not going at the flag there. And he hit it 15 or 20 yards into the water. Then you got a whole bunker there. I mean, it was probably 50 yards right of where he wanted to hit it. And if you hit it over there, even 60 yards left of where he hits it, you have a real good look for birdie. It's just, and this is why I brought up Saturday night,
Yes.
because this is all of a sudden, this is shocking. And it's a shock to the system. And now it's like, well, he makes a bogey there and goes back to 12. Fitzpatrick got to 12 on 12 ahead of him. Right? I believe it was one group ahead of him.
Yes, he was.
So Fitzpatrick's kind of charging. If Ludvig's at 16 and drops back to go to 15, it's, maybe you hit an iron off the tee at 12. But now it's like, okay, game on. Here we go. I got it. And then it hits a vicious hook off of 12. One of the worst swings I've ever seen Ludvig make. And he hits that in the water and makes double. Those are 2 birdie holes, and he makes 2 sixes. And then from the rest isn't even worth talking about. It was such a shock to the system by that point.
Yeah, it really was. I'm glad you brought up those last 3 holes yesterday, because I talked about that last night. I did a solo pod, and that was like the little worrisome, right? I thought on Thursday and Friday he was clinical, is the word that I used. But the second shot into 16, the weak putt on 17, and the 3 jacks on 18, I was like, oh, that's not great, but maybe he'll be able to rebound, and get this thing tomorrow. But you're right. Imagine playing this round today with a 4 or 5 shot lead instead of a 3 shot lead. And, who knows? Maybe he just would have continued to cough it up, but definitely feels different.
Well, you're playing today and you're cruising around at even, and your playing partner has ejected already. And you're like, okay, so the guy that was closest to me is no longer a factor. Now the guys that are chasing me were at 3 or 4, or were 4 or 5 shots back or more. I got some cushion. And then you make one bad swing and all of a sudden you're tied for the lead. It's like very shocking and very abrupt. And I think it clearly had an effect on him. Now the tee shot that he hit on 11 was a push draw that really, they showed it on the broadcast. It came right out of the toe, and it started right and drew right into the middle of the fairway. And he kind of hit it was probably a very similar swing on 12, just a lot more dramatic. And that's why it hooked a lot more. That was a vicious hook into the water there. But I have to think if he had a multiple shot lead, he takes a different strategy into 12 and doesn't mess with any of that. And we're looking at a completely different scorecard coming in.
What will your takeaways of Ludvig be after this? It is very easy. It's always very easy to be in the moment, right? And it's easy to say he choked it away. It's also kind of easy to say, like, don't worry about it. It's just one of these. It's TPC Sawgrass. Where do you fall on the spectrum?
Well, there hasn't been a great closing resume for Ludvig. And he's kind of what I thought that he was, which is when he's going, he's very good. But there's a level that the Scotties and the Rorys have. I know he beat both of those guys this week, but there's a level that the Scotties and the Rorys have, and even Xander Schauffele, who we'll talk about later on. These guys just have something where when it's not going well, it doesn't punish. They figure out how to make a score. And for Ludvig, it seems like everything has to be going perfect for him. His first win, he shot 61-61 over the weekend.
Yeah,
it was like showing off. It's the wry smile. Here we go again. Whoops! I guess I'm just that good.
Made another birdie.
Yeah, here we go. I can't miss today. What happens when you can miss? And do you have something you can go lean on and say, hey, I know I don't have it, but I'm piecing this together. We've seen it from these guys. The best players in the world know how to get it around the course when they're not at their best, when they are nervous, or when the swing just doesn't seem to work. They can hit a shot that never goes away. And I don't think Ludvig's there with his game yet. Like his short game, I think his short game is a little subpar compared to those guys. But you see him chip in twice on Friday. Like, it's clearly very good. Just I'm not sure his game is as reliable as we would like it to be.
That final group felt like a funeral procession. When I tell you that there was not a single drop of juice to be found, it was dry as could be in that final group. And when Ludvig made double on 12, it's right by 13 green. It's right next to each other. And Fitzpatrick, I don't know if Cam Young and Fitzpatrick both birdied 13, but Fitzpatrick definitely did.
Cam did.
Okay, then they both did. And the people that were pro Ludvig, pro Thor, immediately exited the scene. And there was, it just felt like we were watching something really not good.
And you stayed with it.
I did. I was with hope, man. I did not give up until they hit their tee shots on 17 and I walked back. I thought maybe he'll find a shot here. And then I walked up 15. I was 15 tees kind of way in the back, and I started walking up, and there was two balls, one right in the middle of the fairway and one in the pine straw in the trees on the left. And I thought they were the opposite. I thought Thor's ball was in the pine straw and Ludvig was right in the middle. And I'm like, this is sick. All right, here we go. Just one good swing away, yada, 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 right? I'm talking myself into this. He makes birdie on 15. He eagles 16. He makes birdie on 17. He's good to go. And 5 minutes later, he's called for a rules official for the third time in like 4 holes. And I'm just like, this is brutal.
That kind of stuff is that kind of stuff's brutal because things get moving fast. Then you got to call a rules official. Now it's taking longer, and Ludvig likes to go. He's talked about how when he gets nervous, he goes really quick as well, and he has to do everything he can to try to slow down. Those things don't help. You think, well, they take more time, they're going to slow you down, but you feel the feeling is, well, it's like having a group behind you on the tee. It's like, okay, we got to play quicker, and now you're going to rush. It's
right.
Like, well, I got to call another rules official. Let's get this over with. It's very easy to let that kind of creep in. That's probably different experience watching that group than watching the telecast for sure. Because Rick, at 15, I saw those tee shots. You still saw them, but they weren't covering them walking. There was no flavor for how they were feeling. It was just kind of like here, Ludvig ran through the fairway. They think that's in the fairway on the tee, but it's in the pine straw.
Right.
Yikes.
Did they ever say what? It looked like he was standing on a drain. Is that what that was? Did they ever say?
No. I never saw that.
I think it was a drain. When he addressed the ball, he was like a foot lower than the rest of the ground, and they were digging around in there. I think he was standing on a drain underneath like a ton of pine straw.
I don't think they showed the tee shot. I don't think they showed his second shot.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Not good.
Not good.
But
okay.
It happens.
The only thing worse in that group was Michael Thorbjornson, who shot a 77 and was out of it way earlier than Ludvig was. He made a quad on 4, which is kind of hard to do. I think I looked it up. Last 25 years, there's been like 2 9s and like 4 8s, and that's it. It's kind of hard to do. Bogey on 5, bogey on 8, bogey on 11, 12, doubled 17. Just ejection from the start for Michael Thorbjornson.
Yep, that was tough as well. Again, this is why the Players is so great. It's why TPC Sawgrass is so great, because you got a little hole like number 4, which is, it's a short hole. It's 386 yards. and you just have to hit the fairway. He doesn't hit the fairway. He lays up, and then he pulls it long left into the water when, like, short, right, long, you got like everything except long left feeds the ball to the hole. It's a killer. It's like hitting it into the water on 16 at Augusta National with the Sunday hole location. Like, you just got to throw it out to the right and let the gravity do the rest. It's not exactly the same, but yeah, it was just brutal.
The other time, and his career is very young, but I'm sure we talked about this during Phoenix. He got into the lead on, I think, 15 on Sunday in Phoenix, and immediately I think he went like bogey, bogey, bogey coming in. It was kind of a bad look.
Yeah, as soon as he touched it, it's like he realized. I don't know what to make. I think he's still really young, and it's good to be getting these reps. Like, it is the hardest thing to do is contend, go into a tournament, into a final round with a lead, and play your best. It's so hard to do. And it's one of the reasons it's so hard to do is you never get a chance to practice it. Like, if you're playing basketball, you're going to get in a lot of close games through a season. Like, you'll know what to do in crunch time pretty quickly. You're going to be in high pressure situations a lot. But in golf, it might never happen. You could play your whole career on the PGA Tour and never really feel that. So it's hard because you can't practice it. And so the only way you can get experience is to go through it. The hard thing is when you eject at number 4, you had 4 holes of the pressure.
You're not feeling it anymore.
Now it's like, I feel sick. Can I play when I feel sick?
Right.
Who cares? So you almost lose a round, because it happens so early. I've done that before in tournaments. Like the first hole, it's over. It's like, oh, I was so worried about this. I'm done already.
Why was I so worried about this?
Yeah. It changes everything. And it's really hard to go get something out of it.
Well, the final pairing, just to put a bow on this, shot a 76 and a 77. And they finished T5 and T22. Not good.
Yeah.
We can look to the good now. Let's go to the penultimate pairing. That's Matt Fitzpatrick. That's Cam Young. They are causing noise and roars and cheers all over this golf course. It's Matt Fitzpatrick, Greg, who starts the run towards the top of the board because he birdies 1, he birdies 2, he birdies 4. Don't look now. Matt Fitzpatrick is making a move. He gets through the turn completely unscathed, and he birdies 12 and 13. Now back to that moment we were talking about. That birdie on 13 sent the masses from the final group to that group because it was looking like Matt Fitzpatrick was going to become the first Englishman to ever win the Players' Championship. And then we've got a stretch of golf to talk about, but Matt Fitzpatrick makes the early run.
It was a great early run, and he didn't have to deal with what so many other players did, which is this nasty 6-inch rough, because he was just pounding fairways. He had at least 10 fairways in every round this week. That is a lot of time with full control over your golf ball. It kills me because this is what I expected last week when I played him in one and done at the API. This is why. So I'm kind of feeling what you're feeling with Ludvig here.
Ill.
With Fit. Yeah, I'm feeling ill because I'm just a week off on him. But at the same time, what we've been seeing all year, except for the API, the week I picked him in one and done, we have gotten a player who just has the ball on a string. And he gets it in the fairway, and he's got total control of his game. And everything else is in order. Right? He makes a couple bogeys throughout the week, but just the one double yesterday. I actually thought I had to do a post-game show yesterday. That's why I missed this. And I thought that Fitzpatrick and Cam Young and Xander did huge favors for Ludvig because they all made double on 18. I don't think Xander made double on 18, but he didn't play very well. But, Matt Fitzpatrick misses the fairway to the right on Saturday night, makes double. It's like, well, geez, that really crushes your chances. And he gets it all back and more in the early going here. It was extremely impressive play from him. I think even in this closing stretch, I was really impressed with what Matt Fitzpatrick did. And he definitely got some help from Ludvig, who we talked about already. But he played this golf course the way it was supposed to be played and did everything he needed to do to win with very few exceptions.
All right, well, let's hold that thought on Matt Fitzpatrick before we get to this final stretch here. But Cam Young doesn't start as hot as Matt Fitzpatrick does, but he just starts plodding away. He turns in 1 under. He makes birdie on 10. He makes birdie on 13. And these two are kind of just pushing each other. And now, Greg, it's become clear the winner is going to come out of this group. That's the feeling around this golf course when they get to that very pivotal 16, 17, 18 stretch.
Unless they both hit it in the water on 17 or something like that, that it's become a 2-horse race in the second to last group. Kind of crazy. It doesn't happen very often. What was interesting about Cam Young is he wasn't taking advantage of the par 5s through the weekend. 1 birdie on the 8 par 5s he played over the weekend for Cam Young. This guy hits the longest tee shot ever on 18 at TPC Sawgrass.
Oh, unbelievable.
He has tremendous power, and he couldn't find a fairway on a par 5. He's scrambling for par at 2, scrambling for par at 9. I mean, that was a ridiculous par. At 16, he had a lot of work to do to make par. So it was not very easy. And he had to lay up at 11 as well. Not very easy for Cam Young on the easy holes. Yet his putting is exquisite. I think it's the best putting stroke on the PGA Tour. I've only seen one putt he's hit this year where that line on his ball is wobbling, and it went in.
Of course it did.
It's just beautiful. Every putt he hits nearly goes in.
Yeah, we talked about that worm cam and the way that he just gets everything in order. And when you start your ball online, rolling every time, it takes out a lot of variables, takes out your, well, I wasn't going to say your aim because I guess he could have lined it up wrong, but it does a lot of work for you.
Yeah. And he doesn't miss his aim. He's got his caddy, Kyle, he says he lets him read every green. It's almost like he doesn't even look at it. He just listens to him. Tell me where to hit it.
Line it up here. Okay.
They almost always nearly go in if they don't go in. So it's really impressive. The birdies to make birdies on the holes he did was really cool to watch. Because again, it feels like with not getting the par 5s, it feels like he's losing ground. It's like, this is what we have to take advantage of. And he's not. But he steals one at 1 after driving it in the pine straw. Great birdie at 7 and 10. He does take advantage of the slope at 13. And rolls in the putt. And then, the closing stretch was awesome.
That closing stretch. So if you've never been here, 16 and 17, it's all around the same pond. It's where all the hospitality, all the chalets are set up. It is very clearly the defining point of this golf course. And then 18T is kind of just right behind it before everybody gets back up towards the clubhouse. And this really felt different, Greg, because all of the people who like weren't out on the golf course were here. So it almost feels like you're entering the arena when you get here. And all the people that were leaving Ludvig or whatever, they were coming over. It felt like it was all happening here. And both Cam Young and Matt Fitzpatrick make par on 16, the par 5. And when they get on 17T, for the first time that I noticed, this was a very pro Cam Young crowd. Very pro. Murmurs and like hubbub when Matt Fitzpatrick is on the tee, and when Cam Young pulls a club out of his bag, it's like he is pulling the sword out of the stone, right? And he is getting like an ovation in that moment. So it's clear where the rooting alliances were right there on the tee box at 17.
You know, it was really interesting. I was looking at this as we were coming down the stretch, and Xander made a couple of birdies late. He birdied 3 of his last 4 holes. So there was a period of time where Cam Young was the only American on this leaderboard. You know, it was all with when Ludvig was there. It was
the Ryder Cup team. It was the European Ryder Cup team
against Cam Young.
Yeah.
You know, they just had him surrounded. So I guess I could understand that. Cheering. It's so funny. You just never know why the fans are going to latch on to somebody.
Yeah, because no offense, he's not like the most likable guy in the world.
Well, he's very quiet.
He's just, I don't think he's unlikable. I think that he is very reserved and quiet. And like, name one, like, could any fan out there name one fun fact about Cam Young?
Well, I know about where he's from and his dad, and
yeah, I guess. Yeah,
right, you know,
it's not a knock on him.
Stuff.
It's just like, you know, it is funny how in the moment they pick right there.
Yes, that's what it feels like. You know, he's not gonna blow your hair back with anything he says in the press. He's very reserved, very quiet, and always has been.
Yes.
You know, I saw him. I did something for Fox a number of years ago. It must have been like 2019 U.S. Open qualifying, and Cam Young shot 31 on the back 9 to win the qualifier and get into the U.S. Open. And we interviewed him, and this was like an incredibly difficult day. It was in New York. It was blustery winds. It was cold. It was nasty on a golf course it's a nasty golf course. Like, just makes you, there's nothing friendly about it. He shoots 31 on the back 9. It's like, I played well. Like, you just got into the U.S. Open. And that's the way he is.
Yeah.
It's the way his dad is. They're just quiet. So there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And I'm not knocking him by any means. It's just funny how the crowd decides that he has become their gladiator.
Yes.
And he delivers for him.
He does. So this is incredible. For the 3rd day in a row, he makes birdie on 17. He has got that thing completely figured out. And now they go to 18T all square. Matt Fitzpatrick, Cam Young, this daunting tee shot. Yesterday, Cam Young hit it into the water on 18, final hole of the day. And he stands up there and he steps on one. 375 yards to the right side of the fairway. It is the longest drive of the week by 18 full yards. Rory McIlroy earlier today hit one 357, and he has now reduced this par 4 into a flip wedge.
98 yards.
Sick.
To a back pin.
In the biggest moment of your life.
That's what he does. You don't think he does, but he just steps up when he's locked in. It's why he's on the PGA Tour. Like, you could see it on the broad. I know you weren't watching because you're walking with Ludvig, You could
Yeah,
see it in his
I'm
eyes.
crying. I'm crying with Ludvig. I'm just crawling with him. Yes.
Cam Young had fire in his eyes. He was
Yeah.
locked in and dialed all day. It was awesome to watch. He's, Tiger had this look when he'd hit a shot and he's like looking up and down at where it is. You're like, okay, he likes it. There was a lot of those kind of looks from Cam Young. And it felt like every bad shot, something he didn't expect happened. Like, I can't believe that kicked that way. Which is just a sign to say that he was doing what he pictured all day. He was executing what he wanted to do all day. And on 17 and on 18, on those tee shots, it did what, the ball cooperated.
Matt Fitzpatrick, meanwhile, kind of does what you're supposed to do, bail out right and don't bring the water into play. He's forced to lay up short of the green. We've seen that time and time again. He then chips up to 8.5 feet, but Greg, he misses that putt. So when Cam Young had already hit his approach to 14 feet just on the back edge, and he had already kind of lagged one up there, it was nothing but a 2-footer to become the Players' Champion for Cam Young.
That Matt Fitzpatrick tee shot still went 352 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he bailed. I don't think he thought it could go that far.
That's a good point.
It went. I haven't seen very many 350-yard tee shots out of Matt Fitzpatrick.
No, it's probably all juiced up, and the
right.
moment. Yeah, it was
downwind.
Yeah, it was downwind.
Right.
Too. Yeah.
So I think that was a little unfortunate. I thought he handled himself very well, Matt Fitzpatrick, that is. He's discussing that chip. He looked calm. He got it into the position from the trees after a lot of discussion to go and get this up and down. And he knocks it up there at 8 feet and unfortunately misses. And then Cam said with that 2-footer, that's when the nerves started to hit him.
Well, lucky because I think even I could have made that one with nerves.
Yeah, it was close enough. He almost did it in regulation, by the way. The putty hit from the back fringe was right on line.
Again.
Right on the line he wanted, and it just kind of snuck right a little more than he thought early in the putt and never came back. But just he's been due for a big championship like this for a long time. And aside from the Ryder Cup, there just hasn't been one until now. And it's very fitting that he does this. I'm so happy for him.
Mr. 1000 is now a Players Champion. Cam Young wins the 2026 Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass. It was an electric performance, and it is one that has really been brewing, Greg. We've talked about this a lot. Once he started going to that draw exclusively, it completely changed his game. He had a bunch of really good finishes last year. He won the Wyndham Championship. He was great in a loss at the Ryder Cup. His record leading into this week was T7, T3. Oh, now the victory. Yes, of course, he got the job done. Cam Young has been fantastic, and I hate to say floodgates because that rarely happens, but clearly a guy who has the skill and the temperament to win the biggest events.
Yes, and he has been close before, right? This is the cool thing. This is where you got to be careful. Like I have to be careful with Ludvig. You don't close. You can't close until you do, and eventually you do. And the amazing thing about Cam is that he has this complete game, and I think that's why a lot of the industry is down. They feel like Cam underperforms. It's not because of where he finishes; it's because of how good he is, and he hadn't won a tournament like this. Xander probably got a lot of the same stuff before he won 2 majors. If there was a weakness in Cam Young's game, it's no question iron play. He was 3rd for this week, 1st in proximity to the hole. first in proximity on Sunday at the Players Championship. This is the biggest change for him. What he's done with his iron play since going to the draw, it has made a world of difference. And it's made a world of difference for him off the tee, too. He led the field last week in driving accuracy at Bay Hill. That was the point when a friend of mine was asking for my thoughts on players at the Players, and I said Cam Young. Only guy I sent him. And then when the weather came out, Cam was in the wrong wave, and I let a weather forecast back me off of Cam Young.
Never again are we discussing weather ever again.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, especially in Florida, I'm ignoring any potential wave advantage.
It was also supposed to pour today. It didn't.
It was supposed to rain last night.
I'm done. I'm done doing weather.
I had a guest on last night on the post-game show. It was like, it's going to be like a farmer's rain, and it's going to really open this up for the chaser. I turned on the TV this morning. It's like the balls of the first group bounding over the green. Like, I guess it didn't rain.
No, it did not.
They didn't move tee times up. They didn't go to threesomes.
So I had heard that the tour, and they ended up being absolutely right, that the tour forecast was way more optimistic than like if you just fired up your weather app. And like, I don't know how that's different or what they use, but I was under the impression that the tour was very comfortable with the weather forecast today, and they nailed it.
They always do.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It's amazing how good they are at that. And I was very surprised. I was, again, checking early this morning, like, the tee times aren't moved up. They're not playing at threesomes. I thought the rain was going to come in at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. That's what it was supposed to do.
Maybe some earlier.
Yeah.
If it's going to rain at 5 o'clock, that's only an hour before you're scheduled to end. You've moved up tee times before.
For less than that. Yeah.
Yes. They got it right.
They got it right. Let's round out this podium here. Xander Schauffele, posts a number. Hey, come get me, boys. 36 going out, and then this run at the end where he birdies 15, 16, and 18. Finally gets some putts to fall in there. Greg, we might look back at Saturday where it was kind of a little bit loose. He was fantastic on Thursday and Friday. Great closing stretch here. What is the latest State of the Union on Xander Schauffele? I feel like we do this once a week.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, what he did on Thursday and Friday was, remember, we talked about it on Friday night. His 65 was better than Ludvig's 63.
Yes, it was elite. It was elite.
And then he hits 8 of 18 greens the next day. Where did this come from? I don't understand what happened on Saturday. Rick, listen to these. I'm sure you talked about it last night, but it has me flustered. 109 yards from the fairway at 1, missed the green. 111 yards from the fairway at 4, missed the green. 142 yards from the fairway at 10, missed it way short and right, and then like toe shanked his chip shot.
Yes, he nearly whiffed it. I mean, obviously we don't get super slow-mo on every contact on the PGA Tour. I believe that is the biggest ball off the toe I've ever seen in slow-mo.
It's almost like they just pulled old B-roll from a PGA Tour Superstore security camera.
It could have been. It could have been.
Where did that come from? At 12, 56 yards in the fairway, missed the green. At 15, 149 yards from the fairway, missed the green, short-sided, makes bogey. Look, this guy's dominating with iron play, and he drives it in the fairway again. He should have won this tournament. Xander should have won this tournament. He played those holes that I just mentioned 3 over. He should have played those 3 under. Because he doesn't usually drive it like that.
Well, and that's the thing. And he was so dialed in. Like, what happened from Friday to Saturday, and then what happened from Saturday to Sunday? Like, he was so dialed in the first 2 rounds of this event. For him to just go whiff city on Saturday seems nuts to me.
So round 1, Xander hits 5 fairways. He hit 14 greens. But if you hit 5 fairways, you can miss. Like, I understand anything. Playing from that rough it's gnarly. You can get bad lies. You have no control. Okay, you can shoot 77 from the rough all day. But he did it from the fairway. I don't understand that. And then today he hit 6 fairways and 15 greens. I don't know how to assess that. Other than, next week we're going to say, well, Xander gained 7.4 shots approaching the green. Things are looking great for him. This golf swing is really trending. It is probably trending, and Saturday was probably just a fluke. It's probably what it all comes down to.
Golf, man. It's a 4-letter word for a reason. You want to talk about Robert McIntyre?
Whew. What a weekend.
Okay, so he goes 65-69 on the weekend. That's 10 under. That was his final score. So rounds of 72 on Thursday and Friday. He also was running early with Matt Fitzpatrick up this board. 4 birdies on the front. He turns in 33 and he birdies 11. And now it's like things are getting very serious for Robert McIntyre. He does fade a bit here, Greg. 14, he makes a bogey. 16, I did not see. Someone said he chipped it over the green, putted over the green into the water.
Yeah. Now, it's a little complicated. So he's in the left rough.
I would hope it's complicated to do that.
He's got a bad lie, and the chip gets on that tier, and it's just blazing. As soon as it landed on the green, the broadcast was like, that better sit. And there's that one sliver. At TPC Sawgrass, there's been a much more significant buffer around the water. Mm-hmm. There's this one spot on 16 where there's just no buffer.
It's like, sorry, we forgot to buff this.
Yeah, the mower guy just took a little too much off right here, and it just goes right into that spot into the water. But then you drop from the green. So he made 6 there, 14. Unfortunate as well, but what a turnaround for him. What a weekend of golf. He just played great golf in every area of the game for the entire weekend. Probably, the round of the day on Saturday, big advantage going off as early as he did yesterday. But then to answer it the way he did today, a lot of guys would have shot 74. And he got himself right there into contention. And he got to feel like he had a chance to win because he did.
I'm just going to fire off the hip here and say, without thinking too much into this, he is like the most underrated player in the world.
It could be true. It could very well be true.
4th here, 7th at the Open, runner-up at the U.S. Open last year. He finished 9th here last year. He won the Scottish. He won the Canadian. I never hear him in any conversation about being like a top 10 player in the world.
No. He's a lefty, kind of a unique swing. You don't really know like what he does so well. He's plenty long, but he's probably just not long enough to be considered a great talent. It's like, it's something as silly as that. I don't know what it is. I know for me, in my assessment, I've had a tough time knowing what Robert McIntyre you're going to get. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't seem like any course fits him. It doesn't seem like any course doesn't fit him. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of which guy shows up. And I think last year he made a real serious change. It
Oh
always
yeah,
sticks with me,
I
right?
forgot about this.
Yeah.
This is so funny.
Like he said at a press conference after the U.S. Open, I used to just kind of play and I'd play golf and what I got was what I got. And now I started like actually finding out answers and knowing why. And now I know why I hit a bad shot when I hit a bad shot. And it allows me to actually get better at it. So I think you have someone who's, yes, underrated, yes, very good, and also getting better, which is pretty cool.
Definitely going to be keeping an eye on Robert McIntyre over the course of, I don't know, 2026, see where he winds up. Mina, do we have the full leaderboard? I can see that she's not in front of her computer. She's running over. She's trying to change it. She's trying to get ready for dinner. I can see that she's running around.
I get it.
All right, here we go. Full leaderboard. So there it is. Cam Young, 13 under par. Matt Fitzpatrick, 12. Xander at 11. Robert McIntyre at 10. Three-way tie for 5th. That's Ludvig, Sudarshan Yelamaraju, Jacob Bridgman, Justin Thomas, Sepp Straka, Tommy Fleetwood, rounding out the rest of that top 10. Greg, those names or any other names today, we can have her scroll down if you'd like, that you want to talk about.
Well, I think Justin Thomas is worth a conversation.
Okay.
A lot of those guys we know. We know what Sepp Straka is. We know what Tommy Fleetwood is. We know what Brian Harman is. Justin Thomas, we know who he is, but we didn't. Shot 79-79 last week and finished top 10 at the Players' Championship the next week. This was some performance out of him. And he made a triple yesterday at 6.
Yeah,
which was a disaster.
It was like, I don't know what the numbers were. That was like the worst triple I've ever seen. I don't know how he hit that. He hit the tree.
He hit it left into the water. There's a lot of room between the fairway and the water there.
That is not, I know there's a tree there. It is not a hard shot, and no one had any issues with it all week long. And he just completely got electrocuted.
He had to take a drop in a terrible spot, which he probably deserved.
Yeah, he did.
But now you're in this like 6-inch rough on a bank. It's a totally uneven lie. And you don't know where the ball is going to come out. Like it's like when the ball went in the rough, it would come out dead. It would come out hot. It would come out left. It would come out right. You just had no control over where it went. If you got, on at least some of the lies in the rough. So that got him. It was obviously a mistake, and he paid a severe price for a bad tee shot. Other than that, like he battled back.
Mm-hmm.
Only 2 bogeys in round 4. And really impressive stuff. Finished 7th for the week in strokes gained approach, hit 52 greens.
Yeah.
And was 9th in putting. Like, is Justin Thomas back?
I don't know, but he's going to get me to bet him for the Masters again. There was like a 3-year stretch where I just was pretty positive he was going to win the Masters. Remember, because his results just kept getting better at the Masters every year. And I was like, oh yeah, he's like finally going to do it. I got to check his number. Is he even? I thought it'd be longer than that. He's 40-1. It's not long enough.
Last week would have been a good time to do it.
I know. Oh my God. After he goes 79-79, I would have been 10,000-1.
Oh.
Not really, but okay. Anybody else?
I think we got to get to like one and done in the grid.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we could mention? Koepka.
Brooks Koepka, T13. I will double check the stats, but it felt like the putter was a lot better this week. Let me see if that is true.
He lost 1.155 strokes to the field.
Okay. Oh my God, he knocked the cover off the ball.
Yeah. 4th approaching the green for the week. 9th in tee to green. You lose a shot to the field putting. I don't think that's a broken putter. I think that's really tough, crusty greens, and Brooks is going to be a factor this year.
I think he is.
Like he might win next week.
Seems healthy, seems to be in good spirits, seems to be improving, seems to be putting a lot of things together.
He said before this, in his press conference before this week, he said every tournament is special. And he wasn't asked if he wasn't, it's like he just said it.
He wasn't asked, hey, Brooks, is every tournament special?
Right. He said that. And that is so different from Brooks before Liv, when only the majors counted.
When he was
not
like
a major, I'm not even hitting balls.
When he was like, shut up, nerd. This stupid question.
He's got a new perspective on it. And we know, at least if Brooks is healthy and he works towards something, he's very good at achieving it. A little early lean here on Brooks at the Valspar, I think makes a lot of sense.
See, most people are going to wait till Houston and like rip him in the one and done because he helped design Memorial Park.
It actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of long irons there.
Yeah.
It'd be a good spot for him too. But Florida is so ball striking heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Akshay last week.
Yeah. Breaking records. All right, Mina, grid us. That's Victor Hovland.
Tough round today.
Tough round today. Yikes. That is a lot of red on the grid. Well, first off, Colin Morikawa is all over it, and he played one hole. So
yeah, nothing you can do there.
Nothing you can do there. Scotty did not win, so that's wrong. Okay, what did we get right? Okay. Oh my God, Greg. Ludvig over Fleetwood, which was an absolute mortal lock for 99% of this tournament, and came down to the final putt that that Ludvig had like 10 feet for par on the last, and he had to make it, and he did.
It was almost, notice Ludvig is in your outright column.
Mm-hmm.
Great call.
Thanks.
It seemed.
Sure.
I thought we were going to do this back-to-back weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You get him at 27. I get him at plus 122.
Even money, yeah.
Almost the second week in a row of that happening. Incredible.
I had Corey Connors top 20, which, again, seemed like it was going to be a mortal lock. He was 4 over early today. He did end up rallying to get this properly home, but man,
one shot.
It's just there's this golf course. It's never over. It's just never ever over.
Nope. I came on getting ready for this, and I looked at the grid and I saw Ludvig over Fleetwood. I was like, oh well. Wait, Mina's got red marked already. Like she's got everything cut. She doesn't have that colored. Like, oh my gosh, he's got to make par. He's got to make par at 17 and 18. This is not over.
After you just watched him trip all over himself for 16 holes.
Exactly. Like he doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
What difference does what does it matter to him if he finishes T5 or T8?
Yeah.
He's gutted either way. He lost. It's like a rare thing in golf. You don't really you don't win a lot, but not very many guys lose, if that makes sense. And Ludvig lost today.
Right.
That's the feeling. That's not the feeling for Robert McIntyre.
I was going to say, even Matt Fitzpatrick kind of probably, his post-round interview was like, yeah, I didn't win, but I also probably didn't think I was going to have a chance to win.
Yeah.
He seems thrilled.
Well, I mean, what did he make today?
Oh my God. He must have made $2.75 million.
$2.75 million. You probably thought you were going to be less than $1 million.
Yeah. And Cam just kind of beat you. It was fine. It was okay.
It was probably one of the more fun rounds of golf he's ever played.
Yeah. With
Cam and the energy and the crowd against him, but not mean.
Right.
Just cheering for. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's like an away game.
Yeah. All right, Mina. grab me those one and dones. We've got to do the official tally here. It's not 4.5 million for Ludvig, although that's a good sign there. Okay, hold on. All right. So, all right. I'm not. Obviously, I'm disappointed. I'm not going to act like this is the end of the world. Like Ludvig is way more gutted than I am. I am gutted for my one and done. It would have been very, very good if he won. It would have been great if he finished solo second or T3. He did not. He gets me $925,000. It stinks, but I'll take it. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, it's a good pick. You had him all the way. You had a rooted interest in this, and you get almost $1 million out of him. At 925, Rick, you can't be upset. Now,
you on the other hand,
you could be upset about this. 271,000 from Scotty Scheffler gets me over the $1 million mark.
Yes, congratulations.
But
by about $2,000, I think.
Yeah. But whew, he could have gotten up. He shot 5 under. He made a bogey at 18 that was kind of sloppy and just missed putts at 16 and 17. He could have gotten to like 8 under, which would have been crazy. This is disappointing. I already used Cam Young and Matt Fitzpatrick, so I'm devastated about the Matt Fitzpatrick situation.
Yeah, you used him. Yeah,
last week.
Yeah, you used him last week. Oh God, that sucks.
It's so frustrating. And then the only other guy that I conceivably could have played would be Xander or Ludvig. And if I played either of those, if I played Xander, I'd be thrilled. If I played Ludvig, Xander was in the wrong weather wave, so I wasn't going to play him. It would have been Ludvig. I didn't quite trust it enough. I don't know. I'm off this year. I'm in a slump.
It's okay. At least we were not. And again, it's hard to feel too bad when like 40% of the pool used Colin Morikawa and got $0 and didn't even have a sweat. First off, not that they didn't have a sweat, Greg. They didn't even really get to see him play. He played one hole.
No, I mean, most of the people were not watching.
Right.
And probably saw it on Twitter that he's done.
They probably thought it was a fake account.
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts. There's nothing you can do about it. And you'll never know if he was the answer. A friend of mine is in this league. He's always texting me about it. And I'm like, I liked Ludvig, Morikawa, and Siwoo. They were all in the same group. He was like, I love Ludvig. I always get him wrong. I'm like, all right, well, then why don't we go with, I think he went with Hovland instead. But the reason was Morikawa, Ludvig, and Siwoo were all the same group. So you probably don't want to play the whole group. So it's like, that is just so silly.
I'll tell you what, I would have played Morikawa if I hadn't played him last week. So like I would have been right there with everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, I had bet him. We talked about how much I bet him for the next, five starts or whatever. Like, so I would have been right there if I hadn't already used them.
Yeah, there was nothing to say other than everybody likes him. This might not be a good thing.
Right.
Which is terrible analysis.
It's terrible analysis.
All the analysis says this is a go. And to get a 0 out of it at the Players is just, it's worse than missing the cut.
Mina, just for, there you go. Thank you very much. So I have taken the lead, 3.5 million. Mark and Mina stay where they were, 2.71, 2.70. Greg, just a couple grand over $1 million, but he is in to 7 figures. Watch out. He is coming.
Oof. Hot. I'm getting hot.
Getting hot. Don't let him get hot. Next week is the Valspar Championship, the final leg of the Florida Swing. Admit it, Greg, I have not thought one second about next week, so I will have to turn my brain over.
No, I haven't either. I normally do my research like Thursday and Friday. I try to start getting research done, maybe a little bit on Sunday for the next week. And players, majors, it just doesn't happen. So I'm gonna be catching up tomorrow. Try to get a handle on the Valspar Championship, but I'm nowhere yet. I just know that Koepka's playing and Xander's playing and JT's playing. I think we're gonna have a pretty good tournament.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out by Tuesday, which is the next time that we are going to do the Second Cut pod. If you're hanging around, just hit the subscribe. That'd be very helpful. We do this at least 3 times a week. And sometimes for big events, we do it like 6 times a week. So join us along for the ride. Big thanks to producer Mina. She does all the hard work behind the scenes. Greg DuCharme. I'm Rick Gehman. This is the Second Cut. We'll see you next week.